Thank you very much, Sana. It was as close as it gets pretty much anywhere in the world.
You can correct me, so I fooled myself now. But just one tiny question. I'm very curious. From scale, on scale 1 to 10, how nervous are you with the keynote now?
I'm surprisingly high at 7.
7. Okay, so don't screw up like I did. Thank you. Woo!
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. Guys, we have some seats there and there. If you enjoy standing, of course, no problem. Guys, So my name is Max Kropshov. I'm originally from Ukraine. This is not the reason why I'm here. We are here to speak about crypto payments. I'm in the industry for 11 years professionally. So not an OG since 2011, but also quite some time in the space. So basically, I'm here to speak with you about crypto payments, why people speak about them, why businesses consider them, and why in general it might be a thing that I believe every business should at least learn about that. I believe in the space of innovation, and that is why we all are here. Ignorance is not an option. You need to understand AI, you need to have a general clue about blockchain, you need to have a general clue about technologies, architecture, and so on. This is a must when you are a tech entrepreneur. What happened in US in 2008 was something that financial guys never expected to happen, probably, and they just hope that everything will go fine. But it is exactly where the guy called Satoshi Nakamoto, or a girl, or a group of people, no one knows who it is, they decided, you know what? Financial institutions can do all the sorts of instruments that they want, and then the governments might buy out their mistakes by the money of the people. And Satoshi Nakamoto was not okay with that. And he invented the system which is completely honest, which belongs to no one, which is created by no one. The best way to understand it is a digital commodity. It's like gold, which doesn't belong to anyone particularly, but also everyone can own a piece of it. So the system in US got broken, and of course it influenced the whole world. Right? So 2008, 2009, it's where a lot of Americans had lost their houses. It of course influenced a lot of the people in Europe as well. I was still very young. I mean, it didn't really influence me, honestly. But Bitcoin appeared in the beginning of 2009. For the first few years, nothing was happening. The whole idea was electronic money. But in the end, he created much more. Here I would like to talk to you a bit about the history of ownership. Who ever thought about the definition of ownership? It's not a thing that you usually think about during the bike ride. If you think about that for a second, half a million years ago, I mean, unless we believe that the humanity is few of the thousands years old, half a million year ago, the ownership was physical ownership of the things, right? If you own a fur from a wolf or from a lion or whatever, you own it as long as you have it, right? Or as long as it is in your cave. Do you really own the cave? Or if someone stronger wants to own your cave, you don't own it anymore? You got the idea, right? But then the governments appeared. And government said, oh, here's your identity. Now your house is owned by your identity. And we have the police who we finance from your tax, who protect your ownership. And right now, technology is on that level where you can own something by having information. And that is exactly what cryptocurrency and blockchain in the end is about. You don't have to trust the bank, you don't have to trust the custodian, you don't have to trust the government. All of these things in Estonia are not a problem. You have a good trust to banks, you have good trust to governments, to currency, and so on. But it's not the case in all of the countries in the world. So Satoshi Nakamoto accidentally created something that gives financial freedom, access to finance, access to banking to many people in the world. It's decentralized and blah, blah, blah. You probably all heard about what are the basics of the cryptocurrencies. No one can influence that. No one really can change what happened in the blockchain. This is pretty much the whole idea. So it's very honest, decentralized system with certain algorithms, which might sound crazy if you read about this for the first time. But if you think more, it all makes sense. So for the first 2 years of cryptocurrency, nothing was happening. Pretty much from 2009 to 2011, no one probably even heard the word Bitcoin. Any of you heard about Bitcoin before 2011? I didn't. So there are new cryptocurrencies started to appear, and then we see that more and more developers, more and more entrepreneurs, more and more investors are suddenly curious about this technology, what it is. They are curious because they started questioning what it is. We're going back to the question of ignorance. If you see something that people speak about, that's something which is in the newspapers, you should try to understand. And many people decided it's a good idea. Right now, European Union had voted already for the pan-European regulation, which is MiCA, Markets in Crypto Assets. It's been voted, it's been implemented right now. Estonia, by the way, is on the forefront of this regulation and implementation. We see ETFs for Bitcoin are approved, so now every institutional investor can literally buy Bitcoin in a very transparent way that they used to buy things or invest into things. And we believe this trend will continue. So where we are now, 1 out of 13 people in the world have some crypto. It might be Bitcoin, Ethereum, stablecoins, or whatever. I think here we are probably 1 out of 5 because we are more technologically advanced and more curious, maybe even more. So if these trends continue, I think in the next, what the statistics says, right? In the next 5 years, we can be literally 1 out of 4, right? So 25% of the people on the horizon of 5 years will own some sort of cryptocurrency. And this might continue to happen. I don't think that it's like again with the gold, right? Many of you own gold? No. I mean, why? Right? But if you want, you can. So I'm not speaking about that everyone has to have cryptocurrency, everyone has to do some business with cryptocurrency and so on, but it is already there. If we compare a bit on the scale of some assets that we understand a bit more, some asset classes, I always like to compare Bitcoin with commodities because it's not really a currency, right? It doesn't really meet the definition of the currency. It's more meet definition of the commodity. And why I like gold? Because it's limited, it's fairly distributed, pretty much, and no one really owns it, and it is really proved by something that is very difficult to fake, right? So what is gold? It's basically a nuclei and electrons which are just flying around. So Bitcoin is also just a code which is just there and cannot be changed. Can you create fake gold? Okay, unfortunately, you can create gold from the elements which is on the side from the gold. With Bitcoins, we still cannot. So cryptocurrency right now is $2.3 trillion, which is smaller than gold, but more than silver already. We speak about GDPs of the countries. I mean, cryptocurrency is more than Canada, than Thailand, than Australia. Quite the big places on the map. If we compare with the big companies in the world, right, we see the total crypto is just below NVIDIA, Apple, and Microsoft, and Bitcoin is somewhere in the region of the Meta, right? So it's not nothing. It's quite a lot of the capital already in. Crypto payments. People who have crypto, they sometimes decide, okay, maybe I want to buy some things with crypto. Majority still use it for investment only. But there are a lot of technologies already that appeared. Stablecoins, USDTs, USDCs, the PayPal now have their own one, a PUSD, right? So those currencies are made for payments. Those companies are making them so that they are suitable to make payments with something which is very clear in the economic value, like a token for dollar, token for euro, but with all the beauties of the blockchain, that you can pay wherever you want, whoever you want, and any amount you want. What you can do now, you can buy a Ferrari with crypto, you can buy the ticket for an Air Baltic in crypto. I mean, you can do a lot of things with crypto already as the customer. And if you're competing with those guys who are accepting crypto, and you think that your audience might be a crypto owner, you should consider. What investors say, right? This mostly based on the questionnaires that were made in United States of America. So 73% of investors believe that investment in crypto might be a good option. 66% of American investors believe that blockchain might solve some of the settlement issues in the global financial market. Central banks are afraid of crypto, of blockchain, of pretty much everything connected with these decentralized things, because that's what banks should be against, right? They are centralizing the money. So 60% of the banks still experiment with different uses of blockchains for records, for the timestamping, and so on. I know that SEB, for example, is using some sort of blockchain, not for payments, but basically for stamping all the transactions. If there is some investigation, they can prove it was done. 14% even launched some of the pilot projects with CBDCs, or maybe even in collaboration with crypto companies. Companies which already accept crypto. I mean, you probably heard about a few of those brands, maybe 5. Why do they make sense, right? You all run some businesses, you all work in some businesses, you all buy stuff somewhere. Usually the payments with cards cost to merchants over 1%, right? Let's say up to 3%, depending on where the customer is from, what is the type of your business, what is the size of your business, and so on. In general, cryptocurrency costs below 1% because the amount of intermediaries are just much, much smaller. The speed of the transactions, okay, we're still below Visa, MasterCard on average, right? The average one for crypto is not sub-second. We are speaking about with Bitcoin, it is slow, right? So with Bitcoin, we managed to make it like within 20 seconds, which is still much quicker than Bitcoin itself. But it's still, if you are in the grocery store, waiting for 20 seconds is probably not the best idea, right? With quicker blockchains like Solanas, like Ton, like Tron, we are speaking about 3-4 seconds. For online, completely suitable. For offline, we'll have to see. And unlimited access, you can collect money from anywhere in the world. You want to do business in Estonia and sell some digital goods to Africa? Here you go. They can buy crypto with M-Pesa or other methods. And that is fair for the rest of the world. Adoption in Europe, I mean, it's not bad. It's growing, right? You see the top line is, 2021. The yellow one is 2024. All the countries are sort of increasing the adoption of cryptocurrency. This percentage of the people who reportedly have some sort of crypto in the countries that you are familiar with. Why people really want to do it? Why merchants? What they say? They say it increases the customer journey. It creates an image of innovative brand. And it pretty much helps them with attention. It might be a marketing trick as well. Chargebacks. The chargeback market is huge. I don't know in which industry you are. For some industries, chargebacks are a showstopper. The total market of the fraud, it's almost $500 billion a year. With cryptocurrency, it's impossible because there is no central authority. You cannot just write an email to the blockchain and say, I'm sorry, I would like to have a chargeback. So it's irreversible. It's good and bad altogether. For you as the customer who want to do the chargeback is probably a bad option. For the merchant who want to get paid for the services provided, probably a good option. So pretty much we end up with one question, right? Every online business has to understand what is cryptocurrency, what is blockchain, and see if there is a value that they can get from this knowledge. Or maybe not. Thank you very much. It was Maxim Krupyshev from CoinSpade.